The movie opens with a father reading a bedtime story to his daughter. They say goodnight, and the father leaves the room and goes downstairs. Back in the daughter's room, she notices that smoke is coming through her window. The parents hear weird noises and rush to the girl's room, only to find it filled with smoke, and Emma is nowhere to be found. David rushes outside to look for Emma, and for a moment, we can briefly see Emma being carried by someone as she screams for her dad. In the next scene, we see Anna arriving at the school where her son Michael is in trouble. At the school, Anna is greeted by Officer Frank, who shows her drawings of a monster Michael did. Both of them discuss the situation, to which Officer Frank explains that Michael has said he heard voices telling him to do bad things. All of them leave, and once home, we can see Anna looking for a nanny since she works a lot and needs help with her kids. Inside Michael's room, Noah walks in and tells him they need a plan so that they don't get a nanny and vote out every candidate. The next morning, nannies start coming to the house for an interview, and one by one they are sent home as the kids use their signals to say no to all of them. As they send the last candidate out of the house, Michael quickly reveals Noah's plan. As they are arguing, the doorbell rings. The nanny, Leonore, introduces herself, and as they briefly talk, Leonore explains that the nanny should live with the family. Anna seems reluctant, but she decides to give it a shot for the night. As Anna leaves, Noah watches her and Leonore from the window, and as soon as Anna leaves, she sees that Leonore's shadow shows huge wings. At the dinner table, Noah refuses to eat her food, and as soon as she touches it, the food appears to be moving. Leonore sets up some rules for the kids before sending them off to bed. Later that evening, Noah hears a weird rumbling inside the house. She goes to the door and sees Leonore standing outside in the rain. As she backs away from the door, she sees Leonore inside the hallway while water drips from her. She sends Noah to her room as she walks into Michael's room. Leonore walks up to Michael and talks to him about the voices he's been hearing. Michael says that they are all in his head, but Leonore assures him they are quite real. Noah gets out of bed, and as she walks in the hallway, she starts hearing weird whispers coming from the nanny's room. She quickly gets on the phone to reach Officer Frank. Frank goes to the house, and Noah explains to him that their new nanny is weird. However, Frank doesn't see Leonore as weird or creepy. Back at the hospital, Anna is done with her shift and decides to grab a drink with her coworker where she meets David. The next morning, Noah quickly gets ready and storms out of the house while Anna goes after her. Noah explains that the nanny is a monster, but Anna doesn't believe her. Noah walks through the woods when she hears weird noises. All of a sudden, she sees a girl running and glitching in front of her. She tries talking to the girl, but gets startled when a branch touches her and she runs off. On their way to school, Leonore and Michael also walk through the woods. She tells Michael about Otherworld as she takes him to the top of a waterfall. She tells him that water holds memories and that he will be able to learn here before pushing him into the water. As Michael is gasping for air, she tells him he is much more than he knows. As Michael gets out of the water, we can see that his hand has changed into a claw, almost. At the school, Noah remembers the missing girl, Emma. She runs and grabs her missing poster and asks a lady about her. She tells Noah that the girl's father said a monster took her and drove him insane, making everyone around him consider him a suspect. She tells her about a pub where people gather and talk about all of the mad things happening. Interested, Noah walks to the pub and orders some food. She notices the weird painting in the pub, and as she asks about it, no one can give her a clear answer. Before leaving, the bartender tells her that her shirt is wet. She rushes into the bathroom, only to realize that something strange is happening or growing on her shoulders. As she tries to leave the pub, a man tells her a story about the Fairy King and the missing children collected for their armies. The bartender intervenes and tells Noah it's all make-believe. She rushes to gather her things, but the man tells her the only way to kill a fairy is to use iron, or tell them their true name. Noah goes back home and places an iron rod above her door. All of a sudden, we see Leonore trying to come in with food, but is stopped by the iron above the door. That evening, Anna and David go out together. As he is walking her to her house, he asks to use the bathroom. In the bathroom, he encounters Noah and asks her about the witch and if she hurt her. Noah shows him her shoulders, and David warns her about the nanny and tells her to stay away from her. As David leaves, Noah rushes after him to his van and asks him how he knows about Leonore. He shows Noah the van that he had turned into a cage to capture a fairy. Noah walks inside, and he slams the doors, locking her inside as he drives off. David takes Noah to a house where we can see a bunch of fairies on the verge of death being kept there. Noah tries to explain that she isn't a fairy as she lies tied up on a table, but David doesn't believe her. David tries to put Noah in a cage, but she manages to smack him in the face and run. Anna, together with her son and Leonore, are driving around trying to find Noah. Anna and Leonore are arguing over Noah when Leonore tells her that she is the only one that can find her. Furious, Anna tells her that Noah is her daughter, to which Michael interrupts her, saying she isn't. Anna quickly fires Leonore and gets her out of the car. Noah is running through the woods as far as possible, while David goes after her. Anna meets with Frank, and together they try to find Noah. Frank asks her about the man, and she reveals that his name is David Quinn. In the woods, Leonore calls fairies and sends them to David. David has finally caught up to Noah, but he is interrupted by a bunch of fairies, which gives Noah a chance to run. Noah runs and yells for help. She trips and sees Leonore fully transformed with huge wings, as she refers to Noah as her daughter. Anna and Frank finally arrive at David's and witness the fairies and the clues that show them Noah was there. On the other hand, Michael starts seeing smoke fill up the entire room as a tree monster appears and takes Michael. In the woods, Noah and Leonore talk when Leonore tells her that she is not only her daughter, but the protector of the dark forces. Leonore takes Noah to a portal to her true world when all of a sudden they are zapped by David. He demands to know where Emma is. David sees Emma as a fairy, but even though David is delighted to see her, Emma ends up stabbing him. Leonore tries to save Noah as both Anna and Frank arrive at the scene. As they try to wake Noah up, Leonore shushes them, and all of a sudden, the tree monster arrives carrying Michael in his arms. The monster drops Michael and grabs Leonore by the neck, lifting her. At that moment, Michael yells and speaks a foreign language, which forces the monster to let go of Leonore as vines choke him down. As Anna holds Noah in her arms, Noah starts glowing and rising in the sky, transforming into a fairy. At the end of the movie, we see Noah has fully accepted her fate as a fairy. In the closing scene, we see her arrive home, where we can see Anna, Frank, Michael, and Noah enjoying dinner as a family.